Welcome back to the 31305 podcast. As always, I'm Alex, joined by Taylor. We're having a very fun conversation about life and sports world and us not knowing whatever's going on. So, whatever news we bring to you will be news to us mainly, also. How you doing today, Taylor?
It's Tuesday. It's been like 3 weeks since we recorded last, but hey, we're back. We made it. It's not another gone forever 6 month hiatus. We're
No,
back. We're back.
in a new state now. I've joined
New
your former
state, yeah,
residence in South Carolina. I know you lived in Myrtle
yeah,
Beach or close to there. But I'm or Conway, that's what it was. But now I'm
yeah.
in Pacey, South Carolina, right next to Columbia, and we got new digs and new setup for the podcast. So
Have
we'll
you
hopefully.
had a cookout yet,
I've not, but I've seen so many advertisements for it.
brother? You gotta go. You gotta
I'll
go tonight.
go.
I'm not
I'll
even kidding
go.
you. You gotta
Maybe
go
this
tonight.
weekend with Brenna. Maybe this weekend.
Oh my
No, we already had
God,
dinner. We
brother.
already had dinner.
Oh,
But I have seen the
dude.
advertisements on the drive up. We saw them all, and I was like, "See, Taylor keeps talking about that place." I did. I did.
Cookout, dude. You get a burger, a quesadilla, hush puppies, and French fries, and a milkshake for like $9.
And that's
Yeah,
also diabetes for $9.
exactly.
It's a good deal. It's a good
Why do you
deal.
think I miss South Carolina so bad?
Arizona's only got like acai bowl places.
Hey, man, we're getting our first Bojangles in next year, and I couldn't be happier for that.
That's like when the first Raising Cane's is in Key Largo now, in South
Oh,
Florida. They have a Raising Cane's there, and it was sold out its first 3 hours in because so many people kept
oh
going
yeah.
there. We do have again some sports to talk about. Oh, there's some horse races, which even I forgot it happened. The Kentucky Derby and Preakness Stakes happened.
Dude, we've been
Don't know
gone
if we're
for
going to
three.
talk about that.
This was like the most like sports we could have missed in a 3 week span. Like we missed everything.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to talk about the draft lottery too for basketball. That happened. But we'll start off with some actual on the court stuff, and that is the NBA playoffs. And that happened. It's been still happening. Game fours tonight between Dallas and Minnesota, but we got to rewind a couple of weeks to the Heat getting eliminated by Boston, the Knicks eliminating the Magic, right? That's who they played? No, the Magic played the Cavs, and the Cavs won.
Mm-hmm.
The Pacers eliminated the Bucks, and then the Knicks eliminated. Who the hell did the Knicks play?
The Sixers, the
The
Sixers.
Sixers. The Sixers.
Yeah.
And after those four teams advanced, you had the Knicks lose in seven to Indiana. Tough luck for Jalen Brunson injury. Boston easily won 4-1 over the Cavs. And now I've said it before. This is the easiest path to the finals for the Boston Celtics, and that rang true. They're in the finals. They won yesterday, even without Pingus Zingus. What do you make of the East so far, or the Eastern Conference, I guess, because now that playoffs are done for there, and Boston's chances in the finals?
The East is just gross, man. Like it's disgusting. We knew Boston was gonna probably run away with the East. We said it before. Hey, if they lose a couple games in a series, whatever. But they really were never tested at all. The Pacers. The Pacers had a chance to be in that series competitively. They were leading in the first 3 games. They were leading in the fourth quarter, and
In
just
the fourth quarter, yeah.
they just collapsed. And that comes down to they're not old. They're still young. They're not as good as the stats probably say they are. And Boston's there. They're the best team in the I'd say the league for obviously for a reason. Jalen Brown, who would have thought he's winning Eastern Conference Final MVP? He balled out. I think he went like 26, 24, 40, and another 26-point game, something around that. But yeah, Boston was just way too good in the East. I mean, if you look at it, there was really nobody that could have competed with them. The Bucks, the second seed, were missing Giannis and Dame the entire series. The Knicks, I mean, Jalen Brunson getting hurt was kind of their demise because Jalen Brunson was the only reason they had gotten that far.
Yeah.
The 4-5 series of Cleveland and Orlando was fun to say. It was a fun little series, but none of them
Seven
really stack
gamer,
up.
yeah.
Yeah, and then the Sixers with Embiid getting hurt halfway through the series, and the Pacers definitely overperforming. Boston, you said it was a free run, and now that was quite possibly the easiest run to an NBA Finals ever.
and they faced injuries the entire time. I mean, they played the Pacers. Halliburton got hurt for game 3 and 4. They played the Heat. Jimmy Butler didn't play at all in the entire series. You had the Cleveland Cavaliers who missed Donovan Mitchell for game 4 and parts of game 3. So they haven't faced a full team left. And that's one of the things that they said Dallas, we'll get to the West in a minute, is trembling at who's going to get hurt, in
Yeah.
these next couple of games because Boston hasn't faced a team at full strength, and they might not. Even Derek Lively is out tonight for Dallas. If Dallas, well, I mean, they're up 3-0, so the fact that they're going to win the series is pretty much a given. Yeah, Boston, I mean, this has got to be, like I told you, if they don't win it this year, it's a complete embarrassment. The easiest run, like you said, to a finals in recent history. I just hope for the Pacers it's not like when Atlanta made it in 2021 against the Bucks and have been terrible since. And everyone thought, oh man, Atlanta with Trae Young, they beat the Knicks, they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, and they have been terrible. I mean, they just got the number 1 pick. We'll talk about the draft lottery soon. So I'm hoping it's not the same for Indiana. They got to re-sign Pascal Siakam, but like you said, just a little too early. They're not super young, but just not no playoff experience.
Yeah. And then on the other side, I mean, you got to look at Dallas. They've had, I'd say, a pretty similar run to what the Bucks have. The Bucks are 12-2 in the playoffs. I think Dallas is 11-4 going for the 4-game sweep tonight, hosting the Timberwolves. I mean, this is a team that 4-2 against the Clippers, who we thought that was going to be, maybe a Clippers series win. Then they went up and they beat Oklahoma City in 6 games, 4-2. We thought OKC was going to handle them. We thought, OKC, they got their scare in the first series, that first game against New Orleans. They'll be fine. They'll probably lose two to Dallas, and then they'll coast into the finals. And Dallas just went in there. They lost the first game, and then didn't really look back. Won 2 games at OKC. Granted, they were pretty close games. I mean, the biggest one was a 9-point win from Dallas out of their 4 wins, but then they just went into Minnesota, had 2 really close games that they came out on top, and that was kind of where it ended right there. Just if they had won 1 game in Minnesota, you're thinking, okay, the Dallas probably has a really good chance at winning this. The Timberwolves have looked good all playoffs. They went into Minnesota, took the first 2, and then the third at home. Dallas, this actually if you had said Dallas versus Boston NBA Finals, I'm like, I'm not. That doesn't move me. Now it's like shit. These guys are running through the playoffs. Like, what's going to give in the finals?
I think Dallas, I mean, since I think 2 weeks before the season ended, their defense is like number 1 in the NBA, including the playoffs. Like, so their defense has been amazing. Luka's been a really good defender. Kyrie hasn't been a liability. They haven't been able to been stopped by a giant. They haven't really been tested by a great center, but I think them against Jokic would have been fun to see because a lot of their big men are young and can jump really high, but aren't like big and burly. But Boston doesn't have that, right? Without Porzingis, unless you got 36-year-old Hal Horford out there, I don't think they'll be tested like that either.
Yeah.
And just like Boston, I mean, Dallas has been clutch, dude. Even in game 2, obviously the Luka step back. They were down 12 in the third, and you could tell Dallas was just the better team after halftime. And the game 2 days ago, again, Minnesota had a lead, but Dallas was just more clutch. They sealed the game when it mattered. They didn't make silly mistakes, no turnovers, right? And I think that has to do with Luka Doncic. I mean, the guy is
Yeah.
amazing, probably the top 3 player in basketball, as he was because he came second in MVP voting.
I
And
don't
then,
even think he's top. I think he's top 1. I don't think there's any player better than him right now.
yeah, at the moment, no. I mean, Jokic was better throughout the season, but and then you got Kyrie. I mean, like we said, he hasn't been a liability or a nuisance
No.
in the locker room. He's been great, clutch. He goes on when Luka's off, or like they'll both be on at the same time. Like he had 4 fouls in game, I think 5 of their series against the Thunder. And, oh no, it was game 1. It was game 1 against the Minnesota. He had 4 fouls at the first half. Came on in the fourth quarter and scored 17 points in the fourth or something. Like
Yeah.
he's been amazing.
Yeah. This is
So
the Cleveland Kyrie like playoff run that we thought we would see from him at some point, and then it just never happened because he always just tanked his teams. This is like prime Kyrie right now. This is I'm here to beat the shit out of you. I don't care about anything else. Like, dude's going crazy. And I wouldn't say I'm a Kyrie hater, but I'm definitely on the bandwagon of like he tanks every team he goes to. Like, he proved me wrong here. I mean, even the
yeah,
fact that unless Minnesota makes the comeback that no one ever has, it comes back from 3-0. they're going to go to the finals. And I think if you had told Dallas Mavericks fan at the beginning of the season, like, hey, you're making the finals, they're taking that immediately.
Of course. And imagine the storylines like Kyrie going back to Boston, where he said, "I'm definitely going to resign here," and then of course,
Yeah.
jettisons went to Brooklyn. Like, I think that's going to be a great storyline that could probably
Mm-hmm.
happen. Luca against Jason Tatum, it's going to be crazy. But I think we do have to show some respect to Minnesota also. I mean, this was a team that was not going to do anything, let alone finish in a top three seed in the West, a very tough West compared to the East, as we saw in the playoffs. And the fact that they came back down 3-2 against the defending champion Denver Nuggets, blew them out in Minnesota. What was it, a 60-point game or something against them in
Yeah.
game six? And then they stole game seven. Denver was up, what, 8 in the fourth quarter at home, and Minnesota came and took the game away. And Denver was sloppy uncharacteristically, and they looked shell shocked. I mean, if Anthony Edwards had made the finals at age 22, he would have been already compared to like Dwayne Wade winning the finals in his third year in the NBA, which I mean, Anthony Edwards is in his third year, so it'd be reasonable to think. But this team's got an interesting choice. I think Minnesota does because they can't play Karl Anthony Towns a lot of the time in the playoffs because either fit or spacing. But dude, he's got a 4-year, $222 million contract. So I don't know what Minnesota's going to do moving forward to get better with him, Gobert, and they got to pay Ant. But just shout out to them for doing great, exceeding expectations. I mean, Anthony Edwards, he's honestly in the top 10 in the NBA right now. I mean, he's proved it this playoff run.
Yeah. And I don't know if you've looked at Karl Anthony Towns' stats, but he's like 4 for 32 from three in this series, which that ain't going to cut it. That's just not,
Yeah.
that's not what you're looking for. Get your ass in the paint and body them. You got to do something. But let me run through these teams that got eliminated because it's been about 3 weeks. I'll name a team. I'll go down the list of the standings. Tell me what you think they need to change, if they need to add someone, coaching change, player change, philosophy change. Tell me something that you would do in the offseason to make them better. We'll
Yeah.
start in the East. The Knicks, the first team out. What are you doing if you're a Knicks fan? What do you want to see?
Um, Re-sign Isaiah Hartenstein, probably move on from Mitchell Robinson. I don't think they're going to be able to trade for anyone crazy. I mean, their team is really good. They don't really need to make the moves. I think just getting Randall healthy would help, even though there'll be people that argue, right, to trade or like get rid of him because they weren't good. I would
Mm-hmm.
say keep the unit and re-sign Hartenstein and then just go forward. You don't need. They have good draft capital, so they could swing a big trade, but I don't think they need it.
Yeah, I think they need to keep OG. If they can keep OG, I think that'd be a
Yeah,
big move
Ananobi.
for
Yeah.
them. Yeah. Let's see who's next here on the list. The Milwaukee Bucks, the 3 seed. What do they got to
Protect Giannis with bubble wrap because without him, they're
do?
such a dangerous team. And the biggest thing I think they need to do is figure out their future at center. Brooke Lopez is like 2 years away from retiring. Dame is 33 now. Giannis is going to turn 30, I think, in two. I think he's 28 or 29 now. So he's going to turn 30 soon. They got to figure out a way to get younger. Their window is still now. They just got to get healthy. Without playing without Giannis and Dame, obviously hurt them. So I would say find a new center.
Yeah, I don't think there's really too many additions you can make for this team. I think running it back with Giannis and Dame they're still going to be a top 3 seed in the East. They need to get better on the road. They were 18-22 away from what are they at Fiserv Forum? Is that their home place? I think
Yeah,
so.
yeah, Milwaukee.
Yeah, but 18-22 for a team with Giannis and Dame and that team that on the road, they definitely need to get better on the road there. But I don't know. There's probably not too many additions. I think they run it back next year. The 4 seed, the Cavs, 48-34 this season. What do they get? What do they got to do?
If you do not get assurances, or if you do not re-sign Donovan Mitchell by September 1st, you have to trade him. You have to. They're going to get nothing for him. They did good in getting him, but the experiment didn't work, right? They didn't win a playoff series with him. So you got to trade him for his max value right now, even though it's a 1-year deal that he's on left. I don't think he's going to re-sign in Cleveland. So trade him,
So,
build around Evan Mobley, and go from there.
do you think they blow it up? Because they got Darius Garland too, who's also been in the trade rumor game.
Yeah, but if you trade Donovan Mitchell, you probably keep Darius Garland to be
Yeah,
your combo guard. But if you keep Donovan Mitchell, then you trade Darius Garland to like
one of
San
them is going to be
Antonio.
gone. One of them will be gone
Yeah,
for sure.
but it's got to be Donovan Mitchell because I mean Garland's on a deal for like 3 years still. Mitchell's on a 1 year, so it's got to be Mitchell.
Yeah, I mean, I could see them going kind of the same way Minnesota's going. They've got the two, Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, and throw a nice little combo guard like Anthony Edwards type, which Donovan Mitchell or Darius Garland can fill that role. Donovan Mitchell's better than Darius Garland, but I mean, Darius Garland could
Hmm.
be the poor man, fix to that
Hmm.
problem. But yeah, I think one of them has to go this year, and you got to build around your two big guys. 5 seed Orlando took a series against Cleveland, and then didn't really do much in the way of. Oh my God, no, they lost. No, Cleveland won the
They lost to
series.
Cleveland.
Yeah,
Yeah, they lost to
yeah,
Cleveland.
I like spaced out right there.
You're
Yeah,
fine.
taking the series to 7 against Cleveland was probably more than anyone expected going into the year. Um, what do we got to do with the Orlando Magic?
Trade for Darius Garland. Get a legitimate point guard. I mean, Markel Fultz is cool. Jalen Suggs is cool, but they need a legit playmaker. I think you could even see them. It'd be rare to do an interdivision trade for like a Trey Young, but they need like Phoenix does. They need a
Mm-hmm.
point guard. They need a point guard in the future. They have cap space. They could sign one or do a sign and trade where they absorb a bunch of cap from someone who's about to be a free agent. I don't know who that is, but yeah, they need a point guard. You put Trey Young with Paolo Banchero and the defense that Orlando plays, you allow him to be a defensive liability. So
So here's what I'm thinking with Orlando. Disney World, Mickey Mouse. What's the first name that comes to your mind when I say Mickey Mouse?
JaVale McGee, no,
LeBron
Mickey
James.
Mouse. They're not bringing LeBron James to Orlando. I mean, they'd be perfect, but no, they're not. He's not signing with the Magic.
No,
I
he's
can tell you
not.
that.
But I don't even think Orlando really needs to do much. I think they need to run it back. They were 47 and 35 this year. They were young. I think another year of experience, give Paolo another year to develop. I think they're probably a top 4 seed next year. I think Cleveland is going to take a step back with one of their star guards departing. I think Orlando just needs to stick it out, ride it out. They've got the 18th pick in the draft, which we'll talk about the draft lottery here after we're done with this. But I think them sticking it out is a good idea. We'll start going through these a little quicker because they're kind of shittier teams and we know what they're going to do. The Pacers at 6 seed, 47 and 35.
Pacers re-sign Pascal Siakam. You do that, your
Yeah,
offseason's a win. That's it.
yeah.
That's all you got to do.
That's quite
Re-sign,
literally
run it back.
that's it. That's quite literally it. The 7th seed Sixers, 47 and 35 as well. I feel like you just run it back with them too. Tobias Harris, you let him walk maybe, but
No one on the team is under contract except for Joel Embiid and B-Ball Paul and Paul Reed. Even Tyrese Maxey is a restricted free agent. So
they'll
what
bring
they
him back.
can't, well, I mean, they're going to. What they can
Yeah,
hope to do is sign someone outright, like if Paul George opts out, right? Sign him, and then you can use your bird rights on Maxi and go over the cap with him.
yeah.
They need to bring a third wing and then build the team around them. Like Maxi's the answer. Embiid is great, but you need some extra help for them because Embiid gets hurt and Maxi's still young. So
Yeah. All right. And then the 8 seed, your Miami Heat, 46 and 36. They won a game in the playoffs.
I would say it's
Blow
tough
it up.
because
Blow it up.
Jimmy Butler wants a max contract extension. He is probably worth it, but he's not worth 62 million when he's 40, which is what it would be.
Yeah.
I think you keep Jimmy Butler and you trade Tyler Hero. I think this is the year. You got to trade him, get something, swing for the fences, give up, even if you have to give up Nikola Jovic or Jaime Jaquez, not both, because Caleb Martin's leaving as a free agent. You got Bam, you got Hero, you got Terry Rozier. You got to do something. You got to get a guard that is better than Tyler Hero. I don't know how you do that. I don't know if you convince Cleveland somehow to give you Donovan Mitchell, but
You
you
know
got
who
to
would
do
fit?
something.
You know what would be an insanely good fit for that team?
Who?
Defense. Spo likes his defensive guys. There's a guy at the Clippers that doesn't want to be there anymore.
I don't know. I don't know if he'll go. I don't know if Paul George will go. Is that what you're talking
No, no,
about?
no, no, not Paul George. Kawhi Leonard.
No, I don't think. Because he'll want the max. He'll want the max contract.
You're not giving Kawhi a max?
No, I mean the Heat can't sign him. Like even if they trade Tyler Hero, he's too much
They
money.
don't have enough. Oh, that's
No,
tough.
no, because Bam's on a near max and Jimmy is on a max right now. So you
Damn.
can't have three people like that.
You can make
I
you can
mean,
make the money work.
In Fairyland world, get LeBron James until Tyler Hero kiss your ass goodbye. But I
Yeah.
doubt that happens.
Well, those are the teams that have lost in the playoff. We'll go down to the West. We got OKC, the 1 seed, 57-25, way above expectations. They run it back. I don't think anything changes there.
Use your draft capital. Stop sitting on it.
Yeah,
You're not
yeah,
gonna draft 11 players in the next 3 years. Make some moves. Trade up for a
yeah,
top pick if you want to, but stop sitting on it.
yeah. Right now, they only have the 12th pick this year. That's weird. That's really the only first round pick they have this year is the 12th pick. They don't have anybody else's out of
No,
all
because
the
they have the
trades they
rights.
made.
Because they have the rights to swap with Houston, and they swapped
Mm,
with Houston, and then they gave up their first round pick to
yeah,
Utah to get, I think, Gordon Hayward, right?
yeah, something.
So, but
But
they
yeah,
have so
they
many picks in the future.
yeah. Jalen Williams was a nice little revelation. Shea MVP caliber year. These guys run it back next year, and they're fine. Second seed is Denver Nuggets. The champs were taking out Game 7 of the Western Conference semifinals. I think I know where you're going to go with this one.
I would say run it back. I don't see a reason to blow it up.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I don't see a reason to blow it up. I mean, Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, Michael Porter Jr.'s still
I was
mid.
gonna I was gonna say you trying to move Michael Porter Jr. for someone. That's where I thought you were gonna go.
I mean, the only way I would say that is you trade Michael Porter Jr. to a team like the Clippers, who sign and trade Paul George to you. That's what
Yeah,
I would do. But I don't think, and you send them all the first round picks they want.
yeah. I think their offense got exposed in the games against Minnesota. I think they need to bring in another scorer. They have Jokic. Can you rely on holy shit, Jamal Murray to have his
Yeah.
crazy, buzzer beater type games? I mean, right now the only guy that can score consistently seems to be Jokic. Um, Michael Porter Jr. averaged 16 in the playoffs. Jamal Murray had 21, but I mean, we know playoff Murray; he's kind of always there. But I mean, I'd like to see what they can get from Michael Porter Jr. If you can bring in someone that can score, I I wouldn't be against it. I mean, let's see. They don't have he's shooting 41% from three. I don't know. I'd like to see what they can get for him. You already have Aaron Gordon, who kind of plays that same exact role that he plays. So
Hmm.
bring someone else in. The 3 seed is currently still in the playoffs, but I think we all know that they will not be after. They might win tonight, but they will not win the series. The Minnesota Timberwolves, 56-26, finishes the 3rd seed. I think we kind of talked about them a little bit, but
You have to figure out the best way for Anthony Edwards to A, resign, which I'm sure he will, but success moving forward, no matter what the cost is. Jaden McDaniels is great. Mike Conley is amazing. They need a new backup point guard because Mike Conley's getting kind of old. Not to trade for a star, but like just a younger one, maybe like bring back Tyus Jones. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me to trade Cat just to free up cap in not this offseason, but next offseason. So that way you can re-sign someone to a big deal and then use Anthony Edwards to max afterwards. Because I don't think he's your answer as even the second option on the championship team. I think it's got to be someone else. So I
mm-hmm.
would move Karl Anthony Towns. Maybe not after this playoff run because his value is low, but I think at some point he's not the future there. He's been great through their rebuild, but they have their guy. They got to do everything they can to maximize it. Get him a running partner. Put him with Paul George. Or Kawhi Leonard. I don't care. Give him somebody good to go with them.
So then we get the 4 seed, the Clippers, the retirement home of the West. You've got Kawhi, you got Harden, you got Paul George. You also have no first round pick this year, so that's really you're not going to be able to get anything there. This is a weird team.
Get younger. They need to get younger in the worst of ways. Undrafted free agents. Use that 46 pick. Buy into the second round of cash. Of course, the owner will spend Steve Ballmer. You got to get younger somehow. Of course, the Paul George and Kawhi Leonard stuff, that's all player options, so nothing they can control. But Harden's still good. Westbrook's still kicking. If you have Kawhi healthy and Paul George, this has been the same story for 5 years since they acquired them. But there's not much they can do at this point unless they sign one of them to a long-term deal. Then you have more flexibility.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Harden at age 34. Paul George is 34. Let's see. Kawhi's probably around that same age, 32. You still have PJ Tucker, who's got to be, I was going to say close to 40. He's 39. Russell
Look at
Westbrook,
this.
what, 36? So, yeah, they need to definitely get younger because, I'm all for the experience in the playoffs, but I mean, these guys are getting outplayed by the kids now. So, get younger, probably offload one of those three stars. Six seed, sorry, I say six, I meant five. The fifth seed, Dallas Mavs are still in it, which moves us down to the sixth seed in the Valley of the Sun. The Phoenix Suns, 49-33, is quite possibly the most disappointing playoff run regular season I've ever seen from a team that good.
What's this? I was about to look at the Suns draft picks because I know the Clippers don't have any of theirs.
The
The
Suns
Suns don't have a
have
lot of
the
draft picks
the
either.
Suns have the 22nd pick this year. You know who's rumored to go there?
Zach Edey.
Bronny James.
I don't know about that.
Bronny
I
James is
mean,
only doing workouts for two teams, and one of them is the Suns. He said that he wants to play there, and the allegedly the Suns are extremely interested in bringing on LeBron James.
tell you this, right? Phoenix does not have any of its picks until 2030.
No,
They have a 2028 second round pick from Boston,
yep.
and they have a second round pick this year from San Antonio. And they're obviously their own first round pick. I mean, you have to get a point guard, plain and simple. Devin Booker at the one didn't work. Bradley Beal, most expensive backup in history, probably, but it's better than putting D Book at the three. I think you have to get a point guard some way, shape, how, and just keep the core. I mean, I don't think you trade Kevin Durant. I think he's too valuable. You're definitely not trading Bradley Beal. He's not valuable enough. Devin Booker's your entire team. You trade him, no fan will come to the games. So I think you just got to run it back. Maybe you get better luck in the future, but I would run it back.
And they brought in Mike Budenholzer. They fired Frank Vogel. So I mean, there's already a change that I think is going to benefit them next year. I wouldn't be shocked if the smoke and mirrors of LeBron and Bronny to Phoenix stays for a little bit, at least until the draft. But I mean,
I just can't see
hypothetically,
LeBron playing for
si-
Phoenix.
that I can't see LeBron playing for the veteran minimum either. That's a
Yeah,
whole
that's what I'm
nother story.
saying.
Is
Yeah,
he going to
yeah.
take the vet minimum to go play for Phoenix? I know he wants to play with his son.
I don't think it's that deep. I think he's going to play against the Sun, honestly. I don't think he's
Yeah.
going to join whatever team his son plays for.
So like
Like what?
hypothetically,
Yeah.
if this happens and LeBron goes to Phoenix, there's still that's not a. I still don't even see that as a championship team. The way that they look this year, adding LeBron to that, I feel like it's just going to make it worse.
Yeah, what? You're telling me Bronny gets drafted by Utah at 10, he goes to the Jazz? Like, come on.
Yeah, like no,
I think that's
not a
just all
chance.
that's all rumors. I don't think that happens.
Yeah. And then the let's see, 7 seed Lakers. We were just kind of talking about them with LeBron, 47-35. LeBron's gone. I think we know that at this point.
Build around
Most
AD. You got AD and Austin Reeves. You're gonna have money a little bit now that LeBron's gone. Don't spend on a free agent this year. You don't need to. You can be mid this upcoming season and then
yeah.
keep your cap space. Have Austin Reeves grow. Move on from D'Lo. Right? He's already gone, I think. But yeah, I would just build around Anthony Davis. He's only 31, so I would just do that.
Man, he's only 31. I would have said he's like 34, 35.
No, Anthony Davis is only
Damn,
31.
he just seems so old.
I
And the
mean, he
last
joined in
team that made
2013. Sorry, he joined in 2013, and he was what 20 out of college. So yeah,
yeah. And the last team that made the playoffs, the Pelicans, took a game from OKC. No, did they take a game from OKC? I think they did.
they did.
Right?
Remember they
No,
took
they
the
did
one
not. They
game.
did not. They didn't.
Oh no, it
They
was right.
lost
It was
all
just a
four.
scare. It
Yeah.
was just a
Yeah,
scare.
they scared them. But got swept by the best team in the conference. They got Zion, they got BI. BI might get traded.
Honestly, you have the
That could blow it up.
17th and 21st pick. You can use those two picks and Brandon Ingram.
You're trading out.
I don't know about trading up because I don't think the draft is that good this year.
No.
I would say trade for a star. Trade first. Trade with Atlanta. Get DeJounte Murray on that team. That'd be a good deal. Atlanta can get Trey Young, Brandon Ingram, the 17th pick, and the number one overall pick for Atlanta, which, by the way, is crazy. They won it.
Yeah.
I think that would start a new. I mean, the thing is, Ingram's only on a 1 year deal too. Like Brandon Ingram, you have to convince him to resign wherever he goes. He's never been a free agent because he keeps getting traded. So I agree. I think Zion proved he's healthy for the most part. Trade Brandon Ingram. You need a wing. You need scoring from the outside. They don't have that. Trade for a wing that can shoot or a guard, excuse
And
me, that can shoot.
that's all the teams. So I know the Dallas game probably just started. It is currently 25-18, 26-18 Minnesota, 45 seconds left of the first. But that series is cooked. I think we all know that. Which leads us to the other event that happened while we were gone, the NBA draft lottery. I don't even want to talk about it, dude. I don't even want to talk about it.
Our fantasy football draft was on the line, and
It
you were
was.
right in making sure not to pick the Pistons because
Yep.
once again, for the third straight year, the Pistons had the best odds and fell four. Now, it could be a blessing because, again, there's no set number one overall pick. It's probably going to be Alexander Sarr, but I think whoever they get at five is also probably going to be really good. But it's still just, again, the fact that they fell for, like, if this was last year, like it was, and then they get Wembanyama, but imagine it happened again with, like, Zion Williamson, for example, which I know they weren't the number one pick for. Like, it's just crazy that the Pistons are getting this severely cucked by the NBA.
And the fact that the Hawks were in a play-in game and still
Yeah,
got the first overall pick is
the
insane.
Hawks. The Hawks were the 10th best odds to win. They moved up to number one. Shout out my dad. He called it. He got the number one pick in our draft because of it. Um, yeah, no, and also Houston moving up with the Brooklyn pick. So Brooklyn A doesn't get to keep their pick, and B it goes to Houston. Whereas Brooklyn really needs a young
Yeah.
third overall pick, and they lost it in the James Harden deal. And then, I mean, San Antonio moving up one to four, and they have eight because Toronto didn't keep their pick. So it was crazy. I mean, the Charlotte also really needed talent, and they fall down to six. The Blazers really shouldn't have taken the Damian Lillard trade because, I mean, the Heat would have probably given him a better package. Yeah, overall, like you said, the Pistons falling is crazy. So sorry for your loss. The Wizards stayed at two. Somehow the Wizards were the only team in the top 10 that didn't move positions. Everyone else did.
Yeah, I don't know how they stayed in our fantasy draft. I don't know how I got to pick the Wizards at like pick number 8, but I don't even want the second pick.
You know what? Justin Jefferson is yours unless he doesn't go number one, which
Amon Ross St. Brown will be mine at number 2. Come on.
I was going to say CMC probably, right? Another year. Did you have CMC last year?
I did. He went like
Yeah.
fourth.
Yeah, yeah. And didn't you win? Oh, no, you didn't win.
Mm, did
Yeah.
not.
I know. I made it to the final and I didn't play you, so I know. But yeah, overall, the draft, what, is in 28 days, It's around my birthday generally. I think it's June 25th this year. So we'll see what happens. I think the biggest thing is just to see for trades, right? Does Atlanta move on from one of their guards? Do they build around Trey Young, uh, Javante Murray, and whoever they pick at number one?
We
But yeah,
sh-
the draft lottery
Chelsea. We
was
shall
insane.
see.
We do, of course, have other playoff action, which we'll talk briefly about, and that is, of course, the NHL. And again, we never really cover hockey on this podcast, but we have to because the Florida Panthers are in it, and they are my default hometown team, even though I do not watch hockey. They're down 1-0 in the game four to the Rangers, down 2-1. Um, any thoughts on the Lightning getting their butts whipped by the Panthers in round one? That was pretty
I'm
embarrassing.
I'm going to be completely honest. Once the Red Wings were eliminated on the last day of the regular season, I have not paid attention to hockey this season or the playoff run. I'll catch a couple of games, dude, but I was so depressed after the Red Wings were eliminated on the final day of the
I
year.
know.
I
Yeah.
have boycotted the NHL playoffs. I mean, I'll watch the games. Like New York, the Rangers have been good all year. Shesterkin is, you know, perennial Vezina winner. You know, you got McDavid and Draisaitl for the Oilers, who lost last night to Dallas 5-3. Jason Robertson with a hat trick. But I think it's setting up for a. I'm gonna say it's gonna be an uninteresting NHL Finals or Stanley Cup Finals, just because you've got Edmonton, who you've got McDavid and Draisaitl if they are to make it to the finals, but they're a Canadian team. The American market kind of just disrespects the Canadian market and teams. And then you have
Hmm.
Dallas is a good team, but
Yeah,
nobody gives a shit about the Dallas Stars in America. So
it's true.
uh,
It's true.
both teams have great stars, but neither of them are name brand teams. I think Dallas probably wins that series, and then on the other side, the Rangers Panthers. Like, I'm sorry, but if the Panthers make it, like nobody else is interested in
Nobody's
that.
watching. It happened
Nobody's
last
watching
year.
that.
Everyone
Yeah,
was rooting for Vegas last year against the Panthers.
yeah.
Like,
And then I mean, I think the best matchup could be Rangers versus the Oilers, just to have McDavid and Draisaitl against an original six team. But if it's any
yeah.
other combination, I think this might be the Diamondbacks Rangers of the NHL.
And it's kind of in shock, which is crazy. Like the only upset was like the Oilers over the Canucks in seven, but like other than that, all the one seeds made it. You
Yeah,
know, I mean, it wasn't a big upset at all in any of the rounds. Like the Bruins beat the Maple Leafs. Yes, it took seven. Carolina beat the Islanders. It took five. Like, oh, the Avalanche beat the Jets, but they lost in six to Dallas. So like, it hasn't really been a crazy upset at all.
yeah.
But that's because like the powerhouses, like the Bruins, got beat by the Panthers. The Penguins weren't even at all in the playoffs. The Red Wings weren't in the playoffs, right? The Chicago Blackhawks have been terrible. So like it's weird to not see like these historically great franchises make it. Like even the Flyers didn't make it. San Jose, which isn't a great team, but I mean they've been better in the past. They were one of the worst teams in hockey. So it's
Yeah.
weird. It's weird.
Yeah,
Which is
this
why
is
we don't talk
just
about hockey much because it just doesn't have that much
yeah.
mainstream appeal either.
I mean, I love it. It's my favorite sport, and I normally will watch the playoffs every year because I love it. But after the Wings were eliminated last day of the season, I was like, "Shit, dude, I'm boycotting this. I can't."
Yeah. We did have more exciting news of our favorite topic to talk about, of course, and that's the NFL. And no, the NFL draft already happened. There's no OTAs or new signings, but the NFL schedule did get released. And we do have some big matchups on deck. I mean, we'll talk about some of the best ones that I can pull up quickly, but you got to start with week one. The Rams, once again, Matthew Stafford going to Detroit. Was it Sunday night or Monday night football?
Sunday night football.
Sunday night football. Great matchup. Great matchup to choose for Sunday. Of course, you have the first game of the year is Baltimore going to Kansas City for their second straight ring induction ceremony. Lamar's going to be pissed. You have the Eagles playing the Packers in Brazil on the Friday of
Yeah,
week
that was
one.
wild.
So the fact that that exists, there's been some really good matchups. I'm going to take you through a couple of them, right? Just to let you know. The Bills play the Ravens, Chiefs, and Niners. Any of those games. The Niners one is on Sunday Night Football. The Ravens is on Sunday Night Football. Those are great for the Bills. The Dolphins play the Bills on Thursday, and the Packers on Thanksgiving Day,
Yeah,
prime
that's so
time
gross.
in Green Bay at night. The Dolphins struggle in the cold, and now we got to
Yeah,
play them on a national audience. I mean, we did great on Black Friday last year against the Jets, but the Jets are the Jets. So that's going to be a tough end of the season. Any matchups are going to happen that cross your mind? For me, the Monday Night Football game, week one, is probably going to be the one Monday night game I watch the most, even more than the Dolphins Titans. Aaron Rodgers travels to San Francisco,
yeah,
first game
yeah.
back
That's
from an Achilles
that's
tear.
interesting. Yeah, week one. I mean, we don't have to go through the whole schedule, but I mean, Baltimore, Kansas City, week one to kick it off Thursday night is great. Green Bay in Brazil. I guess Philly's technically
Yeah,
the home
yeah,
team. How much do you think a ticket to that game costs?
$400.
To get in, $1,200.
It's not worth it, man.
It's
It's
not
not worth.
worth it,
Nobody
dude.
in Brazil is gonna be able to afford that. I'm sorry,
No,
unless you're like,
you can go to Kansas City's ring induction game, first game of the year against Baltimore, two great teams. You can get in for $300. Green Bay against Philly in Brazil, you can get in for $1,200.
just the
And
travel
then
down there is more like that's
let's
crazy.
see. Oh, you can get into like week one games. The cheapest game, what do you think it is? If you're looking at the
Whoever the Browns
schedule.
play, whoever the Browns play.
Ooh, close. Actually, no, it's not. They play Dallas. So that is absolutely
Oh, no,
not.
no, that's right, that's right. They
Yeah.
played Dallas. I'm gonna say it's not the Jaguars against the Dolphins. I'll look into that. It's not. Who did the Seahawks open against?
I'll tell you,
Who do
it's
the
also not
Seahawks
the
play?
Seahawks.
Oh, it's whoever the Chargers
It's
play.
no. I'll just tell you the answer because you're nowhere close to it right now. It's Carolina at New Orleans.
Oh God, a divisional matchup in the
Yeah.
South. Why didn't I guess the NFC
Why
South?
did you not think that?
We shat on
How,
them the entire season last year.
all right, so that's the matchup. How much do you think it costs to get into that game?
$60.
$43.
That is crazy
Yeah,
to get into a
and
game in the
obviously
dome.
prices will change because we're still 4 months out from the season starting, so prices are still going to change, and obviously, but right now that's what you can buy to get in. You know, another game that I'm looking forward to the most this year,
Lions at Texans for Sunday Night Football.
the the Lions at the Arizona Cardinals the day before my birthday.
That is going to be a
It's
great birthday
it is
present.
it is destiny,
Yep.
destiny. I've got the family coming up for it. We're partying.
God, Marvin Harrison's going for 200.
Yep, probably,
He's going to be
probably.
like, "Oh, those are some cute rookie quarterbacks you got on your team. It'd be a shame if I were to just blow by them." I have the Sunday Night Football schedule up right now. I mean, the last games are awful.
Yeah,
Texans at Kansas City could be good, but you got Bucks at Dallas, you got Packers at Seahawks, Chargers at Chiefs, Dolphins at Browns even isn't that great. But I think the best Sunday Night Football game, I mean, Cowboys at 49ers, Bills at
it's
Ravens. I mean,
solid.
the Sunday Night Football stretch isn't that great this season. I'm honestly surprised. Like usually Sunday night is really good and Monday night's kind of bad, but I don't think I like any of the Sunday Night Football schedules.
Yeah, the primetime games were just weird this year. Like Tennessee at Miami for a Monday night game just seems like
It's
that's
a
just
repeat of last year. I went to the game last year and it was
yeah,
terrible.
like that's a weird game to go to. I mean, Seattle at Detroit makes sense because they've played each other close a lot
Dude,
recently,
Giants at
but
Steelers. You have the
New
Chargers in Arizona for a doubleheader. Like, why?
New Orleans at Kansas City on a Monday night. That's a 30-point win. Like, why is that there?
By the way,
Like some of
you
these,
you know the Chargers and Arizona game is ESPN Plus exclusive.
yeah, yeah.
That's so crazy. That's so crazy.
Baltimore
Like
at Tampa,
Atlanta plays against Vegas on December 16th.
New York
Like
at Pittsburgh.
these
Like the
games are awful.
primetime games are just
The prize thing is, I mean, Bills Jets great game, but
like
Jets
here's
Niners great game.
week. What week is this? This is just one example. Week 8, the Monday night game is New York at Pittsburgh.
That's what I
These are
said.
other
It's terrible.
these are other games that same week that could have been Monday night. Baltimore at Cleveland.
Yep.
Let's see. Uh Green Bay at Jacksonville. That's kind of fun. That's sneaky fun.
Meh.
It Colts at Houston. That's
Better
fun.
game.
Yeah. Buffalo at Seattle. Maybe.
Mm.
Philly at Cincy.
Better game. That should have been it. Philly at Cincy. That's a good game.
Dallas at San Francisco. Granted, that game is Sunday night football, but
Ah, yeah. I mean, they can
it's
flex the week 12 to week 17 games, which they're going to. Because I'm sorry, the Ravens at the Chargers or the Browns at Denver are not going to be good games. Bengals at
no.
Dallas is good. Even the Saints going to Green Bay on the 23rd. Like, you have the Dolphins playing the 49ers the day before. You telling me that's not going to be it?
Alex, I found it. I found the worst Monday night football game of the year.
It is the Falcons against the Eagles.
No, I honestly find that interesting. But week 13, we go down to I guess we go up to the Mile High City for Cleveland Browns at Denver Broncos.
That's what I said. That's got to be flexed out. Like that's the week
Yeah,
after you can start flexing the games.
that's the Thursday. That's the Thanksgiving week. So there's not going to be a ton of games to flex because it's the Black Friday game is set and the three Thanksgiving Day games are set. But brother, that is like you're telling me Philly at Baltimore wasn't the Monday night choice for that. Houston at Jacksonville is not the Monday night choice. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. I
Gross.
mean, yeah, it's not. They're going to be doing some
Gross.
flexing, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
They're going to be doing some
Disgusting.
flexing. I think that's it for the NFL schedule. I mean, we'll know more. The main thing to talk about football is just OTAs are in 2 months, 3 months. So
Right now, prediction: Super Bowl.
for what? Oh God, this early? Not Buffalo, I'll tell you that. AFC, I'm gonna go with Baltimore. I think Derrick Henry's really good. I think they were a game away last year. I think they make it this year. Even though I want to say the Dolphins, but I just won't. NFC, I'll go Lions. I'll go Lions in the NFC. I'll humor you. I'll
I'm
go
about
Baltimore, Detroit.
okay.
Yeah,
I was actually going to say that exact same matchup, but I feel like we both can't say the
really.
same thing. Yeah.
Yes, you can. Of course you can.
No,
Of
so
course
I'm
you
going to
can.
go. I'm going to be even more biased. If Mike McDaniel can't get it done this year with a weak AFC
With a
East,
Super Bowl? I mean, let them win a playoff game first.
I'm just saying, this is the year to do it. They should get home field advantage for at least the first game. They should win the AFC East. That
Yes, they should.
you absolutely need to make it at least 2 games this year into the playoffs. I'll take them to the Super Bowl. Miami versus Detroit. I'll take that,
About to say, you're going to go with another team in the NFC?
brother. I don't even. I see. That's the thing is, if Miami plays the Lions in the Super Bowl, we're not talking to each other for months.
No, we're gonna talk so much shit to each other. What do you mean? If the Lions win, you're not gonna go a day without calling me. If the Dolphins win, you're gonna be happy, but you're also gonna be pissed at
Yeah.
the same time.
Well, this
Yeah.
is like that'd be a win-win for me because no matter what, I'm happy one of my teams win the Super Bowl. But if Detroit wins, bro, you're gonna cry.
No, I won't because the fact I haven't seen the Dolphins win a playoff game in my life. Neither of you. So
This
I'll
is
just be
also
happy.
true.
Just
Yeah.
and where's the Super Bowl this year at? Is it in LA?
Oh, it's in New Orleans, isn't it? Or am
Ooh.
I
See,
wrong?
honestly, hold on, when's the Super Bowl? I'm not even lying to you. Oh, when is it? Hold on. Super Bowl. Okay, not the one that just happened. 2025. It's in the dome. I've been to the dome. It's really good. It's really fun to go to. If the Dolphins make the Super Bowl this year, I might go. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. A flight to New Orleans is cheap. I
Yeah,
can
but
say
the
Brennan.
Super Bowl tickets are not cheap.
I don't care. I'll get a loan.
I was on that same bandwidth last year. I was down to go
Yeah,
to the Super Bowl.
yeah. It was a drive for you. You would be able to drive to Vegas,
Yeah,
pay ridiculous
yeah.
amounts of parking. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what
I would have
happens.
taken out a loan.
What is it the next year? Where is it the next year? Oh, it's in San Francisco the year after. Yeah, I would
I will
definitely go
not
to.
be going there.
I would go to the Superdome 100, and the year after is in SoFi, so we definitely can't go there.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's it. They don't have another game scheduled. I mean, they have the games obviously, but they don't have the host city yet. Yeah, it's got to be this year. So the Dolphins, you got to make it this year to the dome. Hopefully, there's no power outage like it was in 2013. We also had even more exciting football news than the NFL schedule release. I'm not going to lie to you.
yeah,
July
yeah.
19, college
We
football
will be
game
there.
returns. I don't think I'm going to buy it right off the rip because my board exam is 3 weeks later. But after that,
Oh,
after that, heck yes, I'm taking Mississippi. No, I was about to say Mississippi State. That's a big team. I'm taking Akron to the college football playoff. I'm doing it.
I'm
I'm
returning.
taking
I'm returning relevancy to the Army. We're taking Army. We're running the option. It's
Listen,
over.
Eastern Washington's got that red field. We're going to put it on
Yep.
display.
There you go. There you go.
In all honesty, they've been trying to promote like the ultimate team mode, which would be really cool. Like if they're doing old players, like you can play with like Vince Young at quarterback with Reggie Bush in the backfield, like on Texas and USC, or you've got Tim Tebow throwing it up to Calvin Johnson or Barry Sanders running. Like that'd be amazing. Nobody's going to spend money on this game besides the game. Like nobody's buying packs for college football because the road to glory and
Yeah.
franchise is or dynasty is going to be enough. Like
Yeah.
you're not going to buy packs to open them up.
What'd you think about the cover? Good call.
Good call. I like I like
Good
I like
call.
the three. I
Yeah.
like the three players they chose. I do. I like the other cover as well with them in the Rose Bowl, right? That's what it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that cover too. I think moving forward, they should just make it a default to where it's the Heisman winner is the cover, and then whoever has won a Heisman at that school before, if applicable, is the like deluxe version. I think that'd be a really cool idea.
That's interesting.
Say,
Yeah.
say well, your
Or
running
go
back wins.
regular edition Heisman, deluxe edition is the team that won it.
Yeah,
National
something like
championship team.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like imagine like the not Blake Corum, the running back now for Michigan
Donovan
wins it.
Edwards. The Don.
Imagine he wins the Heisman, and then on the future edition, like Charles Woodson's on the cover. That'd be
Yeah.
pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you
I like it.
celebrate, yeah,
We will be tapped
celebrate.
into that. I will be. It's going to be on Xbox for free. So, oh wait, no, I'm thinking of
No, that's
Black
Call of Duty
Ops.
6,
Yep,
which
yep,
will or
yep.
Black Ops 6, which will be. That's
Yeah.
in November though.
I will be pre-ordering the deluxe edition to play 4 days early. So
I will not.
I will be. I
Zach
will be.
Zach will be. So if you want to play with my brother, you
Yeah.
can. I think the only thing left to talk about is baseball news. I mean, not huge.
Acuna.
I
Acuna.
mean, yeah, Ronald Acuna did tear his ACL, what, yesterday, 2 days ago?
2 days
Out for the
ago.
season, his
Well,
second major injury as well. I mean, honestly, the Braves were kind of doing meh even with him, but I mean, this is the year that Philly has to win the East and win the National League again, right? Make it to the World Series.
yeah. But at the
Obviously,
same time, Philly's played what 3 teams over 500 all season.
that
So
is true. But they even then they've been better. I mean, they did just lose to the Padres and or the Giants and the Rockies, but I think the Dodgers have been good, but not world beaters like we thought they would be. Granted, they still have a plus 72 run differential. I don't think this is the Braves' year to just take a chill pill, honestly. The Braves have been so good for so long. Just relax.
yeah. But I mean, I'll run down it. We haven't had too long in this episode. I'll run down the divisions real quick. Tell me what's been surprising, disappointing. We don't have to go through every team, but the AL East, the Yankees are up a game and a half. They're 37 and 18. They're in first. Baltimore 34 and 18, a game and a half back. And then it's a huge drop off. The Red Sox are 500 at 27 and 27, 9.5 back. The Rays are just awful this year, 26 and 28. And Toronto, I think, might be the surprising loser here, 24 and 29, 12 games back. That's the AL East. I think it's kind of where we thought it would be with the 2 teams at the top. But the rest of that division, it started hot, and they've just been god awful since.
I think I'd expect more parity. I didn't expect it to be such a big difference. Like,
Yeah.
yes, I figured the Rays would be good, the Yankees, or excuse me, the Orioles, right? Or second?
The Orioles are second, yeah.
Yeah, the Orioles are second. That's what I'm saying. I think we expected the Orioles and Yankees, but for the Rays to be so bad and just the Blue Jays to be last, just somehow worse than Boston.
Yeah, Toronto being 24 and 29. I mean, you have Vlad batting almost 300. Dalton Varsho has 10 home runs, 30 RBIs. Jose Barrios with an under 3 ERA. You still have Bo Bichette. But these guys, they can't hit. They're 25th in runs, 20th in batting average. Their pitching is decent. I mean, they're tied 5th in quality starts, but this is not the team that we thought was going to compete, at least as a wild card team. They've just been really, really bad. I don't even know. Let's see if their schedule lightens up. They get it does not. It kind of does. They go they play the White Sox, Pirates, Orioles, Oakland, Milwaukee. So I mean, there's a chance for them to crawl back in it, but they're 12 games out. Now we go to a division we thought was going to be quite possibly the worst division in baseball. It might be the best.
I mean, if you take out the White Sox, it is.
This might be the best division in baseball this year. The AL Central, the Cleveland Guardians are 36 and 18 with the power of friendship, plus 71 run differential. One of the best.
They don't lose at
teams.
home.
They don't.
Yeah.
They don't lose at home. They're 18 and 6. They're 9 and 1 in their last 10. Kansas City started out hot with Bobby Witt going on a tear. They're 34 and 21. They're 8 and 2 in their last 10. The Twins, who we thought were going to win the division, and they're not doing bad. They're 29 and 24. They're in third place, and we thought, why are you giving me a thumbs up?
I don't know. I'm not. I'm not.
Like, if you had told me the Twins were 29 and 24, I'd say they're probably in first place in the AL Central right now. They're third, and they're 6.5 back. The Tigers are a game under 500 at 26 and 27. They've been up and down. They're quite literally the definition of average. 26 and 27. They're 13 and 14 at home, 13 and 13 on the road. They have
The
25
zero
run,
run
two,
differential.
225 runs scored, 225 runs given up, and they're 5-5 in their last 10. The Detroit Tigers are the literal definition of average right now, which
Yeah.
I'm fine with. That's fine. And then the last team, the White Sox, the worst team in baseball at 15-40. That's minus 120 run differential, by the way, which might be the worst I've ever seen.
The White Sox might be the worst team in baseball history. I mean, they're on pace to win 45 games this season. Like,
Yeah,
they're probably going to be one of the worst teams in baseball. Like, the White Sox at this point should consider moving their team. Like, they've won in their last, what, 15 games? They won twice against the Nationals and once against the Blue Jays, and they've lost the other 12. Like, this is a bad team. But somehow they took 3 or 4 from Cleveland and they beat
yeah.
the Guardians.
Who knows? You're talking about selling the team. They're going to be sellers at the trade deadline. They've got guys like Benintendi, Luis Roberts. Probably he's got to get traded. They got to get something for him. Yohan Moncada, Eloy Jimenez. That team is. You think they're bad now? Brother, wait till the wait till the trade deadline hits. This team might not win a game after the trade
Can't get
deadline.
much worse.
They
It's not like
can't.
they're gonna win. You have to sell. I'm
I,
sorry.
yeah, you have to. I mean, they're leading batting average. The guy with the best batting average, Gavin Sheets, is batting 242. That's not going to cut it, brother. That's just not going to cut it.
But what it's gonna do, I mean, it's not as bad as before with how the schedule's released, but like the Guardians and Royals are really gonna take advantage of those matchups against the White Sox because
Mm-hmm.
they're really good teams. Like you said, we laughed at the Royals winning the division according to MLB The Show. But it might happen. And the Guardians, you're right, dude. Power of friendship, 269 runs. What is that? Second highest in the AL? Highest
Yeah,
in the AL. Yeah, highest in the AL. Only the Braves have scored and the Dodgers have scored more runs. I mean, they hit the ball. They hit pretty well. The Royals are even better. The Royals do better pitching wise, just barely. This would be fun to see who wins this division. That'll be a very fun race down the line.
yeah. So we go from possibly the best division in baseball to possibly the worst division in baseball, the AL West, which has the reigning World Series champions, the Houston Astros and Seattle Mariners. First place is Seattle, 29-26, -6 run differential. They are extremely average. Julio Rodriguez has been bad this year. Texas Rangers, the reigning champions, 25-29. They're playing the Diamondbacks today. They have a 3-game series against the D-backs as the rematch of the World Series. Right now they're winning 4-2, but we got the bases loaded top 6. We're coming back. Don't worry. Third place, the Astros, who were in last place in that division for a long time. And I had been saying, I think they'll be fine. This is the typical Houston Astros that start slow and then they end up, coming back later in the season. They're now 24-30. They're
Yep.
squarely in the mix for the AL West, which is crazy. Oakland, not having a bad year. Brent Rooker kind of mashes, 23-33 in fourth place. And then the Angels, I mean, with Mike Trout hurt, I mean, what, Logan O'Hoppe and Nolan Schonel are carrying the team. Like, yeah, they're cooked. So
I
it's
mean,
just
Oakland still has a -60 run differential, so it's not giving their flowers just yet.
no, they're
But
not good. They're not good, but they are
yeah,
absolutely better than we thought they would be.
everyone in this division has a negative run differential, which just
Yeah,
speaks to just how mid you like you said it is. The Angels, like we figured without Otani, kind of bad or really bad entirely. um, yeah, not much to say for the West. I think Texas and Houston will pick it up later down the stretch. Seattle needs to build that lead as much as they can over the other two teams. Oakland, or should I say the Athletics, because after what, next season they'll just be known as the Athletics because they're moving to Sacramento. It's just nobody wants to watch baseball for these teams right now. I think when you get closer to August and September, those Rangers Astros or those Rangers Mariners series will be good, but kind of just disappointing from all these teams.
yeah. We'll go over to the NL. I'm gonna try and go fast. I hear my dinner is getting ready. So, the NL, we talked about them. The Phillies, who have played literally 0 teams above 500, are in first, 38-17. The Braves, 31-21, 5.5 games back, but lost Acuna, so we could see them sliding down the standings a decent amount. The Nationals, 24-29. The Mets, 22-31, have been a huge disappointment. Your Miami Marlins, hey, they have picked it up a little bit. They're at 19 wins now. They were at like 4 the last time we recorded. So
Yeah, still one of the worst teams in baseball. The National League is just mid. Like
yeah, it's
the
bad this
National
year.
League, the Marlins are the worst team in the National League, and they're only 9 games from a wild card spot. Like,
Yeah,
and they're 19 back from the Phillies. Like, we're going to see a lot of these teams in NL are close to 500, except for the Dodgers and Phillies, and maybe the Brewers. Yeah, just
So
disappointment for the Mets again. Braves without Acuna. We'll see how far they fall. Yeah, just not impressive.
now my AirPods are about to die, so we're really going to go through here. NL Central: Brewers, Cubs, Cardinals, Pirates, Reds is how it lines up. It's a pretty average. Average. It's mid. It's the NL Central. NL West: Dodgers, Giants, Padres, D-backs, and Rockies. Thought the D-backs would be a little bit better coming off of their World Series run, but also they kind of got hot at the right time last year. This is probably where I thought they'd be sitting right around 500, maybe a little bit better than that. The Giants 500, the Padres 500. The Dodgers are going to run away with that series. Um, the NL is just extremely mid this year.
Yeah, and then we're at Memorial Day, which is like the part where like you can kind of focus on only baseball because there's nothing else really going on in the sports world after the finals for NBA. Even though there's plenty
Mm-hmm.
of soccer, which we'll talk about soon. I'm telling you, man, the Olympics are coming. The
Yeah,
Euros are coming this year. The CONMEBOL is coming, right? So we got a lot of soccer to watch. Champions League finals on Saturday. Hope Real Madrid lose, but yeah, I mean that's it for us. I mean, there's not much. We didn't say we talked a lot. We talked for about 50 minutes, but
yeah.
maybe more consistent now that I'm not moving countries, cities, states in the last
Yeah.
couple of weeks. But we'll get this episode out and the next one hopefully next week with more up to date news. See how Dallas is faring against Boston. The finals don't start till June 6th, by the way. So plenty
Yeah.
of time for the finals.
It's quite a long time.
But we will let you know if anything else breaks in the sports world. And we'll catch you next time. Of course, I'm Alex.
Taylor.
We'll catch you then.